And good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this special edition of New Distributor Training for Saturday morning. My name's Fred Holmes. I'm an independent distributor with Zija, and my privilege to be the host for this morning's training. Got a lot of stuff we're going to go through this morning. And first thing I want to do is I want to welcome all of you, in particular, those of you that are maybe just starting your journey with Zija. We've had a lot of activity. As a matter of fact, this is shaped up to be the hottest December that I can remember in probably 5 years, maybe 6 years in Zija. Things are just smoking right now, and which actually kind of brings up, the topic for this morning. Some of you got, are on my email list, or maybe you're plugged in with me on Facebook and you got the little notification. The topic tonight or today was the number one secret to long-term success in your Zija business. Now, that's got to be kind of compelling to be able to tune in from wherever you happen to be in the world via Zoom webinar and get the number one secret. And I guarantee I'm going to give you the number one secret today. But a special welcome to those of you that are just getting started with us, and of course all of our team members. I'm going to do a couple of things right now. For those of you that maybe this is your first time to be part of a Saturday morning new distributor training, be very clear, we're not doing today what might be considered the new distributor training. Okay, there's a series of videos that I've done specifically to help people that are starting their Zija business. Maybe you've never been involved in a network marketing business in the past, or maybe you've been involved, but you never really felt like you understood, what it is you really needed to do and how to do it. I want to direct you to my YouTube channel. It's www.youtube.com/Fred Holmes Zija. Matter of fact, I'll put that in the chat box right now. For those of you on a mobile device, tap your screen, you'll see the little chat bubble, and you can open it up there. Let me get you that address, because I really encourage you to go there, www.youtube.com/Fred Holmes Zija. Just my name followed by Zija. Did that look right? Doesn't look right. Let me try it again. www.youtube.com/Fred Holmes Zija. That looks a little bit better. So the second link is actually the right one. And and good morning to you, Marianne. Good to have you with us. And so you can interact with me. You can put stuff in the chat box. I'm going to encourage you as you develop a question or something like that. We'll take some time at the bottom of the hour doing some questions and answers and that sort of thing. Be happy to help with any way that I can. But I reference that YouTube channel. That YouTube channel is where we archive all of the Saturday morning new distributor trainings that we've done. We archive our Thursday night Biz Talks presentations. You'll find a number of our team's leaders participate in that. It's not always going to be me. Some of you saying, thank goodness. You get tired of my same jokes, right? But you will find a lot of information there. But in particular, I want to direct you to the playlist tab on that YouTube channel. That playlist tab, when you click there, you'll find 4 videos. Okay, the 4 videos. Number one, the first one is new distributor training. Now, what that is, that's a 30-minute presentation. It's a compilation of all the things that I've learned to get off to a fast start. And now we're coming up on, I think, 35 years that I've been in or around the network marketing profession. Back in the mid 80s, I was a cross-country truck driver and was looking for a way to create, a much larger income than truck drivers make, so I could meet the needs of my special needs son as he was entering school age. But I was also looking for an opportunity to create time freedom, so I could have the time to spend with him. That was going to be critical to, helping him become everything that he could be. And the network marketing industry has fulfilled on all of those promises. Now, I was very fortunate. The very first company I joined back in the mid 80s has historically been known to have some of the finest training that's ever existed in the industry. And I was introduced to this concept of a Saturday morning new distributor training with that first company. And that very first video, 30 minutes long, is exactly what got me to understand the process of building a network marketing business like a professional. And so it encompasses the two things everybody needs to, wants to know, what is it that we do? Okay, so got to figure that one out. And then how do we do it? And I was that guy that once I understood what we do and how we do it, then I was ready to go to work. And that's all that really was all that was of interest to me. Tell me what to do, how to do it, and then I will go to work, because I will create the level of income and prosperity and time freedom that I desire if this is the right vehicle. The profession of network marketing was the right vehicle. This simplistic, this simple way of doing so was what created, the ability of a truck driver to be able to retire in 10 years. And, I'm not bragging, I'm just saying, live a life that, most people only dream about, most people will only dream about. And so, especially if you're just getting started, or especially if you've been involved in a previous networking opportunity and never got the results you're looking for. Or maybe you're one of our Zija distributors who's been around for a while and you're starting to sense what's happening, that Zija's moving into an entirely different arena, if you will, in terms of long-term success, and you want to be part of it. I encourage you to go back to the basics, go back to the fundamentals, go to the playlist tab on my YouTube channel and get that training. Okay, there'll be 3 additional little videos on there that'll be very helpful to you. Those 3 videos are all about 10 minutes a piece, so maybe another 30 minutes of your time. And those 3 videos, combined would be what I would call the fast start training. How to develop a prospect list, like the professionals do. How to create or develop your own personal story. A 90-day game plan. So I encourage you to spend time there, because I'm not going to go through that today specifically, because there's no sense in repeating over and over and over when we can use this time to expand on various topics and that sort of thing. So that's what, yes, number 1 on your to-do list. Go watch those videos, okay? That's going to really set you up for being able to take advantage of the ongoing Saturday morning trainings that myself and other members of the team participate in. Now, for today, the topic was the number 1 secret to long-term success in your Zija business. And I encourage you right now, while I'm thinking about, I just saw, I get to see myself while I'm talking to you, saw my pen. Grab your journal. What are you taking notes with? Okay, it's kind of interesting when, and I'm not just saying it's my training, when you have people, like so many of our team members that participate in Saturday morning training that, have done incredibly well, to be able to get, all of the, insider information and not be writing it down, that just, doesn't make any sense to me. Today, I mean, I'm looking here on my desk, there's 1, 2, 3 different journals I have for different things that I'm doing right now. In the beginning, I didn't have the ability to have these nice, leather bound journals. I mean, I got really nice ones now. This one's from jimrohn.com, Leadership Journal. It's nice leather bound. It's got the little gold foil pages like your Bible, and that little stringy thing, like that little stringy thing. That's kind of neat. In the beginning, this is what I used. Okay, spiral bound notebooks. As a matter of fact, it's what I use for my training on Saturday mornings. I make my notes, prepare in advance for what we're going to do, and so I encourage you to have that out. Now, today's training is kind of is building upon last week. So I encourage you, go to the YouTube channel, look up the Saturday morning training for what was it, December 14th. Okay, I talked for a while on some of the key things that you want to do as a brand new distributor to launch your business successfully. And then the second component of Saturday was Christine Holland, very well recognized leader in the organization. She's a platinum distributor now. She has just done an incredible job of embracing our compensation enhancement programs with our Premier 20 and Elite 40 programs. If you're so new you don't understand what that is, get with the person, get with your upline, or go, whoever it is that's actively engaged as part of your upline support team, and get plugged into that, because it's an incredible tool to create, first of all, immediate success in being able to get your Zija products for free, or get another $200 in addition to whatever your subscription order would normally be. Also a way to generate an extra $2,000 to $3,000, $4,000 a year in income through the Elite 20 program, by simply doing the activities that we do, what it is that we do. We share our products, we share our income opportunity, we teach others to do the same and assist them in building their business. Now, last week, the three main points that I made, if you want to start your Zija business and you want to be successful in the beginning, start with the end in mind. Okay, make a decision in the beginning what it is that you want to achieve from Zija. And don't be one of those people that says, well, let me see if I can get a little bit going. Let's see how it works. If it starts to work really well, I'll put more time in. Don't be that person. Commit. This is much too serious an opportunity to be wishy-washy about. Okay, make a commitment and decide what you really want. Too often people say, well, if I could make, $1,000 a month, that would be wonderful. And I agree. That's the backbone of our Zija distributor base, is people that are looking for that extra, $200 or $300 a week of additional income to the family, that extra, $1,000 a month, that extra, 10 or 12, maybe $15,000 a year. And I want you to think about this for a minute. Who do you know could have used an extra $10,000 or $15,000 in income this past year of 2019? Whose lives would have been changed by that? The fact of the matter is, the vast majority of families in America today would greatly benefit, and their lives would greatly change with something as simple as a $200 or $300 a week increase in pay. And if that's what you're looking for, that's great. Make a commitment to that. If what you'd really like is to create a full-time income, maybe move from $1,000 a month to $1,000 a week, $1,000 a week, $50,000 a year. Now we're starting to get to a full-time income. Maybe you're looking for a high-level full-time income. Maybe it's $1,000, $2,000 or $3,000 a week. That's a high-level income. Whatever it is that you are looking for, commit to it. Make that decision. Because here's something I've learned, and this isn't like, major personal development, epiphanies. You're only going to get what you go for. Okay, think about that for a minute. Very rarely, anything you've ever done in your life, very rarely have you sought a certain level and it is, magically gone well beyond that. Okay, that doesn't happen. Okay, you only get the things that you go after. And so I encourage you, make that decision. Start with the end in mind. That was number one from last week. Number two, get plugged in. When I say get plugged in, I mean be part of every resource that's available to you. There's many things that you can be doing to enhance the potential of your ability. Be plugged into, the resources from the company, the Zija Champions page on Facebook. Everybody who has any level of goals in their Zija business should be part of that Facebook page, because that's the primary vehicle or medium for the company to be transferring information to those of us in the field. Get plugged into your upline diamond leadership support. Okay, and it doesn't have to be an upline diamond. I know that, long before I became a diamond, I was providing resources for my team. But plug into your upline support team. Who is your upline support team? Do you know every single member of your upline support team? You know, your upline, you know, bronze, gold, platinum, you know, diamond, whatever. Do you know who those people are? Do you have a relationship with them? Have you spoken with them? And, you know, there'll be a lot of new people going, well, no, that, you know, my upline diamond doesn't even know who I am. Why? It's because you haven't introduced yourself to them. When I first started in this type of business, I'm going to tell you right now, I figured the deal out. I don't want to try and say I was some dumb truck driver that, you know, just all of a sudden showed up and magically, you know, made millions. That's not how it happened. It was by design. One of the first things I did, I realized very, very quickly, the people making the most money were the people standing on the stage with the pen. Okay, so they were the ones that had earned the position at the front of the room to impart their information. I introduced myself to everybody, you know, whether they were part of my upline team or not. I introduced myself to everybody because I wanted to develop a relationship with the people that could teach me how to do this at a very high level. So be that person, you know, call up your upline diamond, introduce yourself, tell them what your goals are, tell them what you're committed to doing. First of all, they're going to really like that. Okay, they're going to really like that you reached out to them because you know your upline diamond, frankly, has a large organization and they can't monitor every single brand new person that's joining the team. You're going to be in a position where you can utilize that person as a resource. In the new distributor training, we talk about how to utilize the three-step process, the invitation, the presentation, and the validation. So do that. Get plugged into the people that are making it happen. One of the things that I encourage people to do, and it really is independent of whether you're part of my personal organization, get plugged into to my resources. Get on the YouTube channel, subscribe to the YouTube channel, so that way whenever there's a new video that's been posted. Get on my team email list. That's pretty simple. Go to my personal website. It's fredholmes.com. Click on contact. You'll see a place there where you can sign up for the newsletter. Plug into me on Facebook so you can, honestly, I don't spend a lot of time on Facebook. All right. For me, it is a non-revenue generating activity. Okay. And in my life, like probably everybody else, I'm way too busy to be committing a lot of my time to things that don't generate income or don't meet the needs of my goals, which is caring for my elderly mother. So, but if you're plugged into me on Facebook, you're going to get notifications of when the trainings are. So get plugged in, okay? And there's a lot of leaders out there that have many resources. Pat Anderson. I'll tell you what, she has done a phenomenal job of providing resources for all of Zija, not just her team. Go to her website. It's www.clubmoringa.com. Lots and lots of resources there. So get plugged in. Now, the third thing we talked about last week was creating your story. I'm not going to go into that because I specifically talk about how to create your Zija story in one of those, second set of videos, trainings on the YouTube channel. So go there, watch that 10-minute video. That'll be very helpful to you. That leads me to today's topic, which is the number one secret to, long-term success in Zija. And you might as well just write this in your notes, okay? It's not a secret. It's the number one way that anybody achieves any level of success in any endeavor. Okay, one word: consistency. Consistency of activity. See, this is something that was it's in one of my earliest spiral bound journals. I remember writing consistency and persistency overcome all obstacles. Consistency of effort and persistency overcome all obstacles. Now, I'm going to really relate my own personal story. Okay, back in the mid 80s, I was a cross-country truck driver. I know some of you are trying to do the math. I started driving 18-wheelers when I was 6. Okay, so that'll give you an idea how old I am, right? No, well, I left that profession after joining a network marketing company. I invested 2 years with that company, did well there, but not as well as I could have had I gotten involved with that company at the right timing in the growth curve of that company. Went to a second company, simply continued to do the things that I had been taught. Share the product, share the opportunity, teach others to do the same. I had learned what to do and how to do it, and I just continued to apply the same, mindset. I started with the end in mind. My objective was to create, a six-figure plus annual income, so that I could have the financial resources to meet the needs of my family and the time freedom to be with them, and my superpower, the ability to be consistent over a prolonged period of time. Consistency of effort and persistency of effort will overcome all obstacles. And I was able to retire after, 8 years with that second company, total of 10 years in the industry. 10 years to retirement. In my mid 40s, I'd already accomplished what most people take until their 60s and 70s to accomplish. When Zija entered my life, it was designed for me to be a part-time business. At that time, I was able to move home, care for my elderly mother, and that for me, the opportunity to be part of something as special as creating a Zija company and still be able to do it on a part-time basis with a flexible schedule, that was a phenomenal opportunity. But I did the same thing I did the first time around and the second time around, and with the same mindset and philosophy, which was, my day I joined Zija, first things first, I didn't join Zija to try Zija. Okay, be very clear on this. There's a big difference between people who try and people who do. Okay, I joined Zija not to try it and see if it would work, but rather to do it. And my commitment was to do Zija until I achieved my goals, not do Zija and see if I could accomplish my goals. My first day in Zija, my goal was to create $1 million in income. Okay, $1 million. It was, and the goal wasn't, I'll do it for a year or 2 years or 3 years. I was going to do Zija until I hit my goal. Now, there's some very important stuff there that you need to be aware of. So many people will join Zija with a mindset of, well, let me see how it goes, and if it goes well, I'll put in more time. It will not go better by you trying it, okay? It goes better through knowing what to do, how to do it, being consistent over a long period of time. That's how it works, okay? Most people will start Zija to see how it'll work. They may set goals, but those goals never include this concept of doing Zija until they achieve the level of success that they desire. Okay, and think about it for a minute. Once you make the first million, why not stick around and make a second million? Okay, and most cases it happens a lot faster. Second million is a lot easier. For me, these are simple things, has nothing to do with being a tremendously great speaker or recruiter or prospector or whatever. Okay, those kinds of things really are not the issue. These more simple concepts are what create the success. So the number one secret to long-term success in your Zija business is consistency. Now, I want to point out something here, because last night, a number of the team members were up pretty late, closing out Friday night. We had 2 people in the organization. We had lots of people in the organization. I can't wait to see my report on Monday morning on the number of rank advances, because I know there are lots of them everywhere. But these 2 people I was more directly involved with. We had Cynthia Thrash was able to hit silver last night. Now, you're going to hear her story. I'm going to invite her to be a guest on Biz Talks here in the near future. But Cynthia joined the company, got very excited about, our products, particularly CBD, and she's been very consistent. Now, she has a full-time job, all right, but she's been very consistent, talking with people, sharing the product, sharing the opportunity. She hit Builder 500. She hit Builder 1000. It was took a little longer. She hit bronze. And then last night, by the hair of her chinny chin chin, she hit silver. And that's a tremendous accomplishment, especially in the relatively short period of time she's been with the company. How did she do that? Nothing magical. She committed when she started. She's got high-level goals, and she's been very consistent for a prolonged period of time. Somebody else that many of you will know is Dr. Gayla Gates. Dr. Gates achieved gold last night. Okay, and it was right, I'm going to say probably within the last, 60, 90 minutes of the cycle, she hit gold. Now, how did she hit gold? Okay, through prolonged consistency of correct activities, sharing the product and sharing the opportunity. That's the way it's always done. Now, let me tell you, I'm not saying that there aren't people who have come into the company and out of the gate hit very high levels of success. Okay, 90 days to diamond or whatever. When you see those kinds of extraordinary fast start stories, and that's extraordinary. Hit diamond in a couple of months, that is extraordinary. I didn't hit diamond until my 3rd year with the company. I entered my 3rd year in Zija as an emerald, and actually a new emerald when I went into year number 3. That's extraordinary. However, there's a couple things you need to understand. Okay, number one, any kind of fast rise to success, I guarantee you there's a story behind the story. These are people that came to the business with previous success. They didn't have to learn how to do this. Most of those high level successes involve, or fast start successes involve having previous organizations that they were able to bring with them. Now, there's an upside and a downside to that. Upside is great story. Downside, it's not a duplicatable story. It's not realistic for the masses. And quite frankly, a lot of those people don't stick around very long. See, there's something else that's involved, and it's all about your personal development. Jim Rohn said this. Jim said that your level of income will rarely exceed your level of personal development. Okay, and if it does exceed your level of personal development, it typically will not last long. It will come back down to your level of personal development. You may want to go to the YouTube channel and in the search box when you're on my channel, put in daily method of operation, or DMO, because I talk about the kinds of things that should be part of your DMO, your daily method of operation. Obviously, sharing the product, sharing the opportunity, teaching others to do the same, but you need to be involved in personal development. That's critical to your long-term success. The way Jim says it is that you will not make $1 million until you are worth $1 million. I want you to think about that for a minute. How can you make $1 million if you're not worth $1 million? Something my very first sponsor in my very first company said to me. He said, "Fred, how much money are you worth?" And I said, 100,000 a year. That's my goal. And in my mind, back in the mid 80s, 100,000 a year was a lot of money. Okay, in California, in today's money, you might almost be homeless, right? But back then, $100,000 a year was a lot of money. And he said, "You're not worth 100,000 a year." And I kind of took offense to it. I thought that was kind of rude to say that. And the way he put it was, if you were worth 100,000 a year, you'd be making 100,000 a year. And that made a lot of sense. Okay, you cannot make $100,000 a year in income if you're not engaged in a opportunity that pays that. Okay, as a cross-country truck driver, I could not make $100,000 a year no matter what, because that occupation, that endeavor, did not pay that level of income. That was not something that was available. I made really good money as a truck driver, but that's because I ran a sleeper team run by myself. I did 2 guys work, but I did it by myself. But there was a finite level to the number of hours I could put in. I could run, 24 hours a day, 2 drivers, team drivers, 20 hours a day. I could do that plus, but I couldn't run 35 or 40 hours in a 24-hour period of time. So there was a finite level. You cannot make a level of income, let's say 100,000 a year, if your occupation or your endeavor does not support that. Here's another thing. You cannot make $100,000 a year in an occupation or an opportunity that does support that level of income if you are not at that level of personal development. It just cannot be done. So one of the things that's going to be very important for many of you is to do what I did in the early days, is find out what the successful people are doing for their personal development. What have they done? One of the things that was a big challenge to me was reading, okay, because I'm not a great reader. It's part of, my special child. But here's an example. This is a book. I've known this book has been around for a long time. I actually know the fellow that wrote it from a previous company. I was listening to Reed Nelson probably a couple of months ago on a broadcast that he did, a special training broadcast he did with Pat Anderson, talking about personal development. And I took notes on several different books that Reed Nelson has read that I had never read. Heard of most of them, but had never read them, and made the point of buying them. And as you can see, I'm slowly getting through it. I'm still not a great reader. But the things, success leaves clues. Successful people, I figured this out real fast. When I first got in this business, I drove 18-wheelers, but I drove motorcycles. Love motorcycles, right? And back in the day, I had literally 4 different motorcycle magazines coming to my house on a monthly basis. Okay, because I invested my time in the things that that was of interest to me. And I learned very quickly that none of the $1 million earners that I met in that previous company had any motorcycle magazines coming to their house. As a matter of fact, what I found is they were reading things that I'd never heard of. And so I started to make note of what they were reading, and I canceled my motorcycle subscriptions. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. That was a common to all of the people. As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. Common to virtually every single high-level success person. Og Mandino, the greatest salesman in the world. Very common to many of the top income earners. And so what I started to do, I was about to say, was to start reading the things the successful people had read. And that's not really true. What I started doing was buying the audio cassettes. Now you really know I'm talking about mid-'80s, right? Now you do Audible, buy the book on Audible. Because I found while reading was a real challenge for me, I could listen to the recording of the book. It had to be done in the morning. Okay, that was just part of my brain. And so I started getting involved in a daily method of operation of personal development. And I got myself up to a point in time where my personal development was able to match my income goals. And then guess what happened after that? The income started to flow in very, very quickly. So a couple thoughts for you. Back on this concept of consistency, then I want to open up for any questions you might have. One of the phrases we hear quite often is treat your Zija business like a real business. Okay. This is a challenge for most people because, frankly, 95% of the population works for somebody. Okay. Now, some work for the government, but, most people work for somebody else's business. And, the 5% of the population, they're the ones that have the businesses and they hire the 95%. And there is a big difference between what one does when they run a business versus when they're an employee. See, employees don't have any of these things. You don't have this concept of having to take your money and invest it into a business without any guarantee of success. Okay. An employee knows that so long as they show up for work and they do their job, at the end of the week, they'll have a paycheck. Okay. They don't have to invest their money and hope that the business is successful. Employers, they're the ones that have to set up in advance what's going to happen every day. An employee can show up and then just be given direction on what to do. Business owners, they've got to monitor the numbers. They've got to be able to see what's working, what's not working. They make a capital investment in their business. They've got to see a return on that investment. Employees, the only evaluations is necessary is maybe, once a year during your employee evaluation, when your boss tells you need to work better on this or work better on that. So this concept of work it like a real business, well, I agree with that. Okay. You've got to, would you do something different in your Zija business if your weekly income was the same as mine? Probably, right? Probably. But I prefer to talk about work it like a job. And I want you to think about this. As an employee, and I phrase it this way because that's what most people are, as employees. And I get it. I used to have a job, it's a long time ago, but I used to have a job. I used to work for the county. That was kind of a disaster, but that's a story for another time. But work it like a job. When you get up in the morning, what time you're supposed to show up for work, right? Maybe it's 8 o'clock in the morning. There's no question about what time that is. You already know that. Work your Zija business like a job. Know the night before what it is you're going to do the next day for your Zija business. When you have a job and you wake up in the morning and you feel tired, do you skip going to work? Or do you still get up, shower, shave, whatever, and jump in the car and get to work? Well, of course you do. You felt tired, you had a headache, not feeling that good. Guess what? You're still going to show up for work. Why? Because that's how you make money. Right? Now, have you ever been at work and have gotten tired or gotten a headache or maybe feeling a little under the weather? You don't quit. You stay till 5 o'clock. Why? Because you're only going to keep the job and get paid if you stay till 5 o'clock. Now, when you have a job and your next door neighbor needs a hand moving, or your friend from school drops by to say hi, you still have to go to work, right? And you tell them, hey, I'll see you when I get home, or I'll help when I get home, or whatever. If you work your what happens when you have your Zija business? Too often it's, oh, my friend dropped by, I can't do my Zija business today, I don't feel well, I offered to help my friend move. If you work your Zija business like it's a job, for most people, that makes more sense. And why do I phrase it like that? Because 95% of the people out there have never been business owners. And you cannot have a successful Zija business if you don't work it like a real business. It does require some capital investment. When I started with Zija, I had to buy some product so I could get my business rolling, get myself positioned, have product for my personal consumption, have product for my family's consumption, and product to sample out. And I continued to invest in Zija product on an ongoing basis, my subscription order, more product for sampling out. And for a period of time, there wasn't a lot of profit in my Zija business, but I was very consistent over a prolonged period of time. And, you know, frankly, the rest is history. Made a lot of money in this company. Made a lot more money in Zija than I did in my first time around in network marketing. And be quite frank with you, nothing compared to what's going to happen over the next 5 to 10 years in Zija. The very best times that we will experience in this company aren't the ones we've had in the past. It's going to be the ones we're going to have in the future. So hopefully that's been a little bit helpful. Number one secret to long-term success, go back and listen to last week's presentation because you'll get a lot of information from that. Number one secret, consistency. Do it every day, whatever it is that you've committed to. If you've committed to talking to one person, then talk to that one person. Don't skip the day's activities, okay? Work it like it's a real business. And if that's a little bit of a challenge, you know, mindset-wise, work it like it's a job, okay? Think about it like this. If your goal is to make, you know, $1,000 a month or $1,000 a week, there are certain things you're going to have to do every day of the week. Let's give you Sunday off, okay? So 6 days a week. You might commit, you know, 1 hour a day to your Zija business, 90 minutes a day, based upon whatever it is that you've committed to. Would you pay yourself? Would you take the money out of your pocket and pay yourself for the level of, you know, activity and commitment to your Zija business that you committed to doing yesterday? Would you pay yourself? Would you pay yourself that money? And if you wouldn't be willing to take the money out of your pocket and pay yourself, that's what you need to work on. All right, so let me open up for question and answer. Let's see here. And if you've got a question, a comment, if you like my t-shirt, if you're wondering how I got a special edition dark green healthy shouldn't be hard Zija t-shirt because they're not available to everybody, you might want to ask about that. I know a lot of people in high places. Let's see here. Hey, Kate, consistency and persistence will overcome all obstacles. Number one secret. There you go. There's your training. You guys didn't have to spend all this time with me. Just look at what Kate Ridgely wrote in the chat box. That's the training. Danielle. Hey, Danielle. Let's see. Amazon Audible is amazing app for that. Been able to listen. Success follows clues. Any avenue is great. You know, that's a great phrase. Success leaves clues. If you're wondering, and Mary wants one of those shirts. Okay. I'm not going to say anything here because, you know, I don't want to say anything. But I happen to know people that have these shirts, Dee Shaw, and I don't know if you have any connection with any people that have these shirts, Dee Shaw. But you might want to talk to those people and see if you can get one because I'm sporting a very limited edition shirt here and I'm feeling pretty cool about it. So success leaves clues. Danielle, that is an excellent phrase. And folks, real simple, okay? Don't get advice from people that don't have what you want. All right, there's lots and lots of people out there, and here I'm gonna digress a little bit. I get bombarded by people through Facebook, LinkedIn, and all that kind of stuff, who want to help me build my network marketing business. And for, you know, they give me something for free, and then I can join their team and get all this specialized training, and it's only $39.95, and blah, 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 blah. Here's the challenge I have. Most of the people that have reached out to me via, you know, Facebook or LinkedIn that want to help me build my Zija business have never created the level of income that I desire in network marketing. Interesting. Had one gal tell me that she was working directly with, and I won't use the fellow's name, directly with, big shot so and so, and she could, leverage the training she got from him to teach me how to build an organization as large as he had. And she gave the numbers, and it was kind of like, why would I want that? His organization is about half of what I've built over the years, and his level of income is about half of what I've gotten over the years. And why would I invest my money in somebody who was going to teach me what that guy had done? Doesn't make any sense. Let me tell you where you're going to get your best bang for the buck. Every single one of you is connected to an upline Zija diamond. Okay, whether you're part of, my personal organization, we have lots of team members joining from other, diamonds organizations. I encourage my people to work with other diamond leaders as well. You've got people that will work with you and impart their knowledge and skills for free. Why would you sign up for a course to teach you how to be successful by somebody who makes their money selling courses on how to be successful in network marketing? Doesn't it make more sense to learn from somebody that's been successful in network marketing as opposed to somebody that's teaching how to be successful in network marketing and they never have? So hope I didn't offend anybody, but just, hey, I forgot to tell you, that's the disclaimer. Come in, hang out with me for 45 minutes or an hour, and you're gonna get what I have to say, whether you like it or not. So let's see here. Any other questions, folks? Any other? Yeah, thank you, Danielle. Makes complete sense. Let's see, like the shirt. Yay, Dee, shirt is awesome. Let's see, Richard Ellison. Would you also watch the motivational videos on YouTube? That's a great question, Richard. I am all for motivational or inspirational YouTube videos. However, that wears off pretty quickly. Okay, I do. I will. For instance, there are certain things I listen to. I listen to Jim Rohn a lot. Okay, simply because he resonates with me. I actually was very fortunate many years ago, long before he passed, to actually spend some time with Jim. I had dinner with Jim one time, and it was interesting. I have to tell you, in that particular occasion, it was almost like it was like a blur, because I was just kind of awestruck that I was included in that group, right? And so I really didn't get a chance to, sit down and pick his brain, if you will. But I've listened to a lot of Jim Rohn stuff. I like motivation, inspiration, but I like education. Okay, so here's a good one for you, Richard. Look on YouTube for Jim Rohn, How to Build Your Network Marketing Business. Okay, because it's both. It's, informational, educational, inspirational, motivational. I think that's positive stuff. I'm all for, positive mindset stuff. However, and this is really important, okay, personal development is critical to your long-term success. Personal development, being engaged in, ongoing mentorship through YouTube videos or books or whatever, from, high-level personal development, motivational speakers. Powerful, powerful stuff. Not any of that will make you one penny if you don't apply the other part, which is the work part. And that's the part I want to caution people against. It depends upon the person's personality. For instance, Tony Robbins, great speaker, doesn't resonate with me that much. I mean, I've listened to a lot of Tony Robbins stuff, and a lot of it's really good stuff, I think. Doesn't resonate with me quite as much as like a Jim Rohn does. Find somebody that, or a number of people that resonate with you. but be very clear on the fact that none of it's going to make you money. Okay, you got to be willing to do the work. And I see too many people spending too much time being motivated or inspired or educated, and they never make a penny because they never actually shut off the computer, shut off the phone, and go to work and do the deal. Okay, so good balance in there. Hope that helped. Richard, certainly add in another question here you know, if I need to elucidate greater on that. Danielle, love watching Jim and so many motivational speakers. Speaking of him today, you know, Jim, there's most of the high level personal development people will refer to Jim Rohn as their mentor. And that's a real credit to Jim because he's made a huge impact on so many people. Les Brown's another guy that I resonate with, you know, and I like Les Brown's stuff. But again, you know, won't make you one penny if you spend the rest of your life listening to that, to Les Brown. You got to do the work part too. Let's see, watching. I have found that I love watching, but need to be around and listen to entrepreneurs too. Both offer motivation and a drive to grow your business. I say surround yourself with motivation, but also people doing the deal. There you go. And honestly, you know, some of our most successful people aren't necessarily the most motivational, you know, inspirational speakers. I certainly don't count myself, you know, as being one of those people. I hope that any kind of inspiration or motivation that I provide is based upon, you know, well, dang, if Fred can do it, I'm going to get rich. And truth matter is, I'm not that good. Okay, I'm the guy that just was willing to stay at it, learn the system, stay at it long enough when everybody else said, oh, it's too hard, or, you know, I had too many people drop out, or, you know, the company messed up my order, or, you know, the company didn't ship the right stuff to my best prospect and they quit. And, you know, whatever the reasons are people have for why they're not doing well, I ignored them. I figured I'll go get one more customer. I'll go help one more distributor. You know, and I just stuck around long enough and just kept doing the deal, independent of whether or not it was easy, fun, you know, magical, what have you. Well, thank you, Danielle. Now, see, that part I'll agree with. I may not be inspirational, I may not be motivational, but I am entertaining sometimes, right? You ought to see me dance. That's worth the price of admission. Let's see. Be the person you're looking for. Ernest, thank you very much. That's a powerful statement. Who should I look for? Don't worry about that. They'll find you. Be the person you're looking for. Okay. It's, you know, in in a decade of network marketing, and I made a lot of money before I hit Zija. I never once recruited a superstar. Okay. All the people I recruited were me. Okay. People who had above average willingness to work, above average coachability, above average desire, but they had no previous high levels of success. Okay. I was the guy that was willing to show them step by step, you know, let's go get 2 people. Okay. And then let's help those 2 get 2. And then let's help those 2 get 2. Probably my least strongest suit is prospecting and recruiting. Okay. Most of my, you know, the leaders within my organization will out recruit me every single day and twice on Sunday. Okay. Now, what has my strong suit been? It's building in depth, going down line until I find the person that really wants to step up and do the deal. And creating the stories of other people, of other team members. That served me well. It's also been a hindrance to my advancement. Okay, so it's not an all good, all bad kind of thing. But what point I was going to make is, it took until I'd been with Zija, 3rd company. I was in Zija probably 6 months before I actually brought in my first superstar, and that was Pat Anderson. And Pat will tell you, it was a good 12, almost 18 months before she really turned it on, because number one, she didn't need Zija. They already made a ton of money. Pat on her own made a ton of money. It wasn't like, Jim and Pat made a lot of money. They each had separate businesses and they both made a ton of money. She didn't need the money from Zija, and she was really busy. Okay, so it took 3 companies over a decade before I recruited my first superstar, and that superstar didn't blast out of the gate and become a diamond in the first 3.5 minutes. All right, everything takes time to cultivate. All right, well, anything else, folks? We're at the top of the hour and my allotted time. I think we're probably pretty good for now. Hope this was helpful. Folks, don't take your foot off the pedal. Okay, we've got holidays coming up. We've got a week's worth of that. Then we've got the lag between Christmas and New Year's. Great time to be building business, because January the 11th is the launch of Zija. Okay, January 11th is the beginning of the next, Zija, if you will, the next generation. Don't lose the time between now and then. It's too valuable not to, it's going to make too much of a difference during that time. And so this is actually the last time I'm going to see you guys until the 26th for Biz Talks. And so I want to wish all of you a very, very Merry Christmas. Beginning of Hanukkah starting on Monday. Happy Hanukkah to those of you that celebrate for our Jewish people. And Johnny Williams, ho ho ho! Thank you, sir. All right, you guys. This will be posted on the YouTube channel shortly. Have a great rest of your weekend. Hope you enjoyed being here as much as I enjoyed being with you. All right, we'll see you. Bye-bye.